The Galactic Council chamber was filled with laughter. Dozens of alien leaders sat in their tall golden seats, staring at a large hologram of Earth slowly spinning in space. One alien, General Vorth of the Zarn Empire, leaned forward with a mocking smile. Earth? You mean the blue rock with no defense fleet? No star cruisers? No weapons bigger than railguns? Another alien, slim and snake-like, hissed. They still burn fuel to launch ships. Primitive monkeys with flags. More laughter followed. On the screen, Earth looked peaceful. Too peaceful. But no one noticed the quiet Terran ambassador, Ambassador Layla Khan, sitting in the back corner. She said nothing. She simply pressed a small button hidden in her pocket not far away on the cold continent of Va. Antarctica, a door opened underground. Inside that door was Project Horizon. Hidden under 10 miles of ice, a massive control room came to life. Screens glowed. Machines hummed. A soft female voice echoed through the empty chamber. Welcome back, Director. Earth Command has authorized Phase 1. A single figure stood in the darkness, wrapped in a long coat. His name was Director Reese Carter, and he was the commander of Earth's True Defense Program. He stared at the hologram of Earth's orbit. Alien probes floated nearby, recording everything. Ships from the Council came and went, scanning the skies, but they never saw the real Earth. They never saw the cloaked satellites above the moon. They never saw the hidden base inside Mars. They never noticed the Obsidian-class warship waiting in the shadows beyond Neptune. Because Earth had spent 300 years playing a very dangerous game. And now, the game was changing. Back at the Galactic Council, the mocking continued. They don't even join wars. They just observe and send food, sneered Vorth. They are afraid. Ambassador Layla finally stood. Her voice was soft, but calm. Earth believes in peace. Vorth grinned. Or maybe Earth just fears what real power looks like. She met his eyes. Or maybe we understand it better than you do. Then she turned and walked out. Not waiting for permission. Silence followed her steps. In low Earth orbit. A small alien scout drone activated its deep scan protocol. It had scanned Earth dozens of times before and always found weak signals, no dangerous weapons. No major ships, no active defense grid. But today, something was different. A strange signal bounced back, encrypted. TERREN- made . And then the drone's camera went black. Its memory core melted from the inside. From across space, the Zarn operators gasped. What just happened? It was destroyed. But Earth doesn't have that kind of tech. Below, inside Project Horizon, Director Reese nodded at the screen. One drone down. Keep it quiet. No alerts. No noise. Earth's hidden intelligence network was watching everything. Thousands of satellites hidden in debris fields, asteroid belts. Old space junk had been waiting for this moment. The illusion of weakness had worked perfectly. Now, the aliens had grown arrogant, and arrogant enemies make mistakes. In the deserts of Nevada, a hidden training facility buzzed with activity. Humans moved in silence, wearing advanced combat suits. Each suit was stronger than anything the Council's elite soldiers had. Each human carried weapons no outsider had ever seen. One young soldier, Corporal Jenna Lee, paused beside a viewing window. She looked up at the stars. Will they ever see what we really are? She asked. Her captain smiled. They will. Just not today. The world thought Earth was quiet. The galaxy believed Earth was weak. But that was the plan all along. Earth had learned from its history. Every war, every betrayal, every false alliance. Humans had watched empires rise and fall, had seen peaceful planets burned for resources, had seen noble races enslaved by civilized councils. So Earth decided to disappear into the shadows, Dot, it became the quiet one, the helpful one, the one nobody feared. Dot, until now. Dot, deep beneath the Antarctic ice. Director Reese tapped a command into the console. Status? All sleeper fleets online. Obsidian is in position. All defense grids hidden. Council unaware. He smiled. Perfect. He looked at a photo taped beside the screen, an old Earth city, destroyed by alien war years ago. This time, he whispered, we don't wait for them to strike first. And somewhere in the dark, an A, I answered. Project Shadow Protocol. Is ready. Just say the word. The stars above Neptune looked empty, but something was hiding there, something big. A black warship, silent and invisible, drifted just outside sensor range. Its name was TSS, Obsidian, a Terran stealth ship built in secret, using technology no alien had ever seen. Dot, inside. Captain Rhea Morgan stood on the bridge. Her face was calm, but her eyes watched every signal coming from Earth's orbit. Turned to her crew. Zarn scout drone destroyed near low Earth orbit. Their systems will panic soon. A young officer asked, should we reveal ourselves? Captain Rhea shook her head slowly. Not yet. Let them think it was an accident. We're not ready to show them what we are. Outside the ship, its armor adjusted to reflect nothing. Not light. Not heat. Not sound. The Obsidian might as well have been part of space itself. Meanwhile, on Earth, the Zarn Empire's ambassador landed in Geneva, pretending to make peace, but his message was different in private. Dot, in a closed-door meeting with Earth's surface government. He said it plainly. The Council believes Earth has grown too bold. We suggest you surrender control of your orbit and military facilities peacefully. President Adira Singh smiled. Dot, it was the kind of smile that made powerful men nervous. Of course, she said kindly. Earth wants peace. We'll cooperate. Behind the glass walls of that room, her security details stood still, but their eyes scanned every movement. Each wore invisible earpieces connected directly to Horizon Command. Dot, as the ambassador left, she turned to her aide. Send a message. To Director Reese, activate Curtain Protocol. Hours later, deep beneath Antarctica, Director Reese Carter stood in front of a large glowing screen. It displayed every alien ship around Earth, every Zarn fleet movement, and every satellite path. He tapped a red button labeled Curtain. Instantly, thousands of fake data signals launched from Earth. Alien ships suddenly saw Earth's orbit full of weak, old satellites. They saw a planet with no military response, no threat, no changes. But what they didn't see the dozens of Terran stealth satellites activated behind those fake signals. Each one held EMP charges, hacking arrays, or kinetic. Rods ready to drop at any moment. The curtain was now in place. Earth was still weak, but only on the surface. On the far side of the moon, inside a hidden Terran base called Outpost Umbra, 2 soldiers watched the feed from alien scanners. Still. Works, said Private Malik, tapping the screen. They see exactly what we want them to see. His commander, Lieutenant Elena Ruiz, nodded. Good. Let them keep laughing. The more blind they are, the better. Back in the Zarn High Command, panic was quietly building. The missing drone. The silent delay from Earth. The lack of resistance, it felt. Too easy. General Vorth frowned. They agreed too quickly. It smells like a trap. But the other council leaders dismissed him. Earth is just afraid, one said. Their silence means surrender. Vorth wasn't sure, but it was already too late. In orbit above Earth, a Zarn cruiser named Daggerfall ran a deep scan. This time, it sent a stronger pulse one meant to break through weak Terran shields. But instead of answers, the ship's console exploded in sparks. System failure. We've been counter-hacked. A red warning flashed across their screens. It wasn't Zarn language. It was Terran code. Just one word. Watching. Back in the Obsidian, Captain Rhea received the signal. She smiled slightly. They poked the curtain. They didn't like what stared back. Then she gave the first real order of war. Move into forward observation. Full silence. No signals out. Earth will speak when it's time. In the city of Mumbai, a secret base under an old metro station lit up. Scientists worked in silence, activating Project Echo, an AI system built to mimic alien communication and reroute. Council scans. Echo whispered in code through the stars, sending back false peace signals. It told the Council exactly what they wanted to hear. Earth is weak. Earth is quiet. Earth is not preparing. And they believed it. For now. On the other side of the world, inside a mountain fortress in Chile, Director Reese looked at a blinking light on his panel. Another signal had come in. This one was different. Hidden Terran ship near Alpha Centauri had just spotted something. New Zarn fleet. Headed for Earth. Reese narrowed his eyes. He whispered to his AI assistant. Run Operation Shade. I want to see how many Council spies are already on Earth. Confirmed. Operation Shade now active. The curtain was still up. But now it was time to check how deep the enemy had already come. The sky above Earth was calm, but danger was coming, and Earth knew it. The Zarn Empire's fleet had entered the outer solar system. Not just one ship this time. 17 warships, armed and proud, glowing in silver and green. On the lead ship, Zarn High Commander Krell stood before a giant screen showing Earth in the distance. He smiled with sharp teeth. Begin transmission. Let the humans hear the voice of real power. In Geneva, President Adira Singh received the message on a secure channel. Her advisors watched the screen nervously as a tall alien appeared. Krell voice was cold. Earth has disrespected the Council for the last time. You will now surrender all orbital control, mining rights, and energy grids. Do this peacefully or face judgment. The message ended. Everyone in the room turned to the President, but she was already typing a reply, slow, steady, calm. Thank you for your offer. Earth will consider your demands. She pressed send. The message lasted 10 seconds. No threats. No fear. But that short reply triggered everything. Inside Project Horizon, Director Reese Carter watched the signal bounce off the satellites and return to the fleet. He turned to his team. Initiate Phase 2. Begin testing. All across Earth's orbit, hidden Terran systems lit up. But not to attack, not yet. Instead, they began observing every Zarn ship, scanning their heat signatures, engine cores, communication patterns. Terran I watched. Every movement. Every mistake. Every weakness. This wasn't war yet. It was a test. And the aliens didn't even know it. In the Pacific Ocean, a small human research ship floated calmly. From the outside, it looked like a fishing vessel, but deep inside, it held a quantum resonance cannon A prototype that could disable starship shields without a trace. Commander Ishan Patel adjusted the coordinates. Target locked, fire a soft pulse. A beam of invisible energy shot upward. One of the Zarn ships flickered, just for a second. Its shields dropped 3%, then returned. On board the alien ship, technicians were confused. We just had a power dip. Solar interference? Maybe. They had no idea they were being measured like rats in a lab. In a hidden base on the dark side of the moon. Terran Sniper Satellite T9 received the test data. Its onboard AI processed the shield reactions, thermal bleed, engine delays. Within seconds, it produced weak point maps for all 17 Zarn ships. Those maps were sent back to Earth. Humans now knew exactly where to hit. When the time came, back on the Zarn command ship, Kreltor grew angry. Why no reply? Why no fear? He turned to his second-in-command. Prepare the boarding teams. We'll take their sky stations and show them what real power looks like. But just before he gave the final order, a small human shuttle launched from Earth. That it carried no weapons. It only broadcasted one message on open channels. Earth remains neutral. We seek peace. Please return to Council space. It was polite. It was calm, and it made Kreltor furious. They mock us. Far behind the Earth, the TSS Obsidian tracked the Zarn fleet from a safe distance. Captain Rhea Morgan read the data with a smirk. They're reacting just as expected. Her lieutenant, Dax, asked, "Why aren't we attacking?" Rhea replied, "Because this isn't about fear. It's about information. The more they show, the faster we'll break them." Then she looked out at the stars. Let the bullies roar. We'll smile and sharpen the knife. Meanwhile, inside Earth's secret labs, a different kind of test was running. Project Reckoner, a new AI designed to predict alien political collapse, had just run a simulation. If Earth responded with a 2% show of force, the Zarn Empire would panic. If Earth responded with 10%, at least 5 council members would switch sides. But Earth wasn't ready yet. So Reckoner said nothing. Just waited. Just listened. Just learned. The next day, Kreltor's fleet sent drones into Earth's upper atmosphere to scan for weapons. Half of them never returned. The rest came back with corrupted memory cores full of human music, static, and one strange message. A whisper in English. Still watching. Kreltor's fists slammed the console. Send the destroyers. Take their orbital platforms. But again, Earth sent no warships to stop them. Instead, the satellites they tried to attack were holograms. Fake. Decoys. One Zarn destroyer wasted. 10 missiles on an image that wasn't real. High above, Captain Rhea gave a single nod. They failed every test. Reckless, blind, overconfident. Then she issued Earth's first silent order of escalation. Prepare our real defenses. If they want fire, they'll see the sun. The stars around Neptune were still, but something deadly moved among them. TSS Obsidian, Earth's stealth warship, had just received silent orders from Project Horizon. Observe. Disrupt. Do not reveal. Captain Rhea Morgan stood on the dark bridge of the Obsidian, her crew focused and silent. Outside, nothing betrayed their presence. No light, no engine flare, no signal. Even time seemed to avoid them. They were ghosts. And ghosts were watching the enemy. Far ahead, the Zarn fleet orbited Earth in high formation, proud and wide, their flagship Vrexus glowing green and gold. On board, High Commander Kreltor paced in anger. We have waited 3 days. No resistance, no response. Earth mocks us. His second-in-command, Sarek, replied, "Maybe they are just afraid." But Kreltor shook his head. Fear doesn't destroy drones. Fear doesn't send messages inside our systems. He didn't know it yet, but he was already targeted. Inside the Obsidian, a voice whispered through the ship's core. New mission uploaded. Disable Zarn command structure. Captain Rhea nodded. Begin Operation Needle. On a silent deck, a small orb detached from the Obsidian's hull and floated into space. It had no engines, no signature. It drifted slowly toward the Zarn flagship. The crew watched its feed in silence. 2 minutes to impact. The orb was a quantum disruptor drone designed by Earth's top minds. It didn't explode. It didn't fire. It simply reached into electronics and erased data. Inside the Vrexus, alarm screamed. Main navigation offline. Targeting. Systems rebooting. Commander Kreltor's personal logs deleted. Panic rose. Sarnak stared at the system report. No virus. No weapon. It just vanished. Commander Kreltor grabbed his communicator. This is an act of war. But even as he shouted, the drone outside had already melted into nothing, its self-destruct code erasing every trace dot in a nearby Zarn destroyer. Another officer looked out the window and saw nothing. Just empty stars. He blinked dot, and then his. Captain collapsed dot dead dot heart, stop dot no mark, dot no wound dot. His console showed one final image. A Terran symbol from Earth's old intelligence agency. An eye inside a triangle. The ship's crew whispered in terror. How did they get in? We're under attack, but we see nothing. Captain Rhea watched from afar. Her voice was calm. 2 commanders disabled, 3 ships in confusion. No return fire. Her weapons officer asked, "Should we strike?" Harder? She shook her head. No, let fear do the damage. In the Galactic Council's main hub, panic began to ripple. Messages from the Zarn fleet became strange. Unknown sabotage. Systems failing one by one. No sign of Earth. Fleet no enemy ships, just failure. Counselor Thari of Velk, a species known for its logic, narrowed his eyes. If Earth is not attacking, and the Zarn are still falling, then who holds the power here? The chamber grew quiet dot. No one had an answer. But somewhere, far away, Earth's silence was getting louder dot on Earth. Director Reese Carter watched the data scroll in. Good. Psychological impact confirmed. 0 losses. Full deniability. He turned to his team. Now phase 3. Let them run. Let them guess. We will be shadows. The Council still believed Earth was harmless. But now, whispers were growing. Even among alien soldiers. Even among Zarn elites. The name, Terran, started to carry weight. Fear, mystery, danger, and a hidden communication room on Mars Base Theta. Encrypted messages poured in from other species. We saw what happened to the Zarn. Fleet, Earth, what are you? Are you taking allies? Earth didn't respond. Not yet. They had waited generations for this moment. And now, one Terran shadow ship was pulling the galaxy apart without a single missile. Back on the Obsidian, Captain Rhea received a final command from Project Horizon. Withdraw. Vanish. Let the silence speak. She gave the order, and the Obsidian turned slowly, faded into the blackness of space, and disappeared once more. No trail, no trace, just fear left behind. The Zarn fleet was no longer patient. Their commanders were dying mysteriously. Their systems were breaking one by one. And Earth had said nothing. No threats. No war declarations. No fleet in sight. To the Zarn Empire. That was the final insult. High Commander Kreltor, red with rage, shouted across the command deck of the Vrexus. No more games. Fire on Earth's orbital stations. Show them we are not afraid. The order was sent. 7 Zarn warships locked onto Earth's communication grid and launched their missiles. Flaming green trails crossed space, aimed to cripple Earth's satellites and scare its people into surrender. But just before the missiles hit, they vanished. No explosions. No debris. Just nothing. Kreltor's crew stared in disbelief. Impact confirmed? No, Commander. Targets disappeared? Before impact. What do you mean disappeared? Suddenly, the giant screen aboard the Vrexus flickered. Static. Then a human face appeared. President Adira Singh. Her voice was calm, cold, precise. You have broken your peace. You have fired without cause. Earth no longer smiles. The screen went black. And then the sky opened from behind the moon. Earth's true fleet emerged. First came the shadows. Giant black ships unlike anything in the Council's database. Sharp. Angular. Silent. Then came the fire. Project Aegis, Earth's orbital defense grid, lit up. Lasers Kinetic rods, magnetic stones all activated in a perfect pattern. The first Zarn destroyer exploded in silence, its hull shredded before its shields could react. The second ship lost power, then turned into ice from a cryogenic pulse, fired from one of Earth's empty asteroids. On the Vrexus, panic erupted. Where did those ships come from? Our scans didn't detect them. We're surrounded. Kreltor stood frozen. The weak planet, the one they mocked, had just wiped out 2 of their ships in under 30 seconds in Earth orbit. Terran. Command finally spoke. Director Reese Carter's voice echoed on all council frequencies. For 300 years, Earth followed your rules. We sent aid. We built peace. We played nice. But you mistook silence for weakness. You mistook kindness for fear. The voice paused. Then came the final line. Now, you see the truth. Back on the battlefield, dozens of Terran stealth ships uncloaked all around the Zarn fleet. Obsidian appeared behind the Vrexus. Fully armed. From deep space, Terran kinetic rail cannons fired rods, the size of cars traveling faster than sound. Too fast for defense systems. One Zarn warcruiser split in half. Another was torn open like paper. Captain Rhea Morgan, aboard the Obsidian, gave her first real combat order. Disable the flagship's weapons. Don't destroy them yet. Let them feel it. A single pulse beam hit the Vrexus. All its guns went dark. All its engines stopped. The most powerful ship in the Zarn fleet, now completely helpless. Inside the council, news reports flooded in. Screens showed burning Zarn ships, Earth's flag flying in space. Humans once called weaklings now delivering. Precision destruction without a single casualty. Counselor Thari of Velk whispered, Earth was never peaceful. They were just waiting. Back in orbit, a single message came from Earth. Retreat now, or witness total loss. Kreltor, trembling, looked at the ruins of his fleet. Only 5 ships remained. He gave the order. Retreat, all ships. Fall back, now. The Zarn Empire fled. Earth did not follow. They didn't need to. The message was already written in fire, across the stars. Earth is not weak. Earth was only holding back. President Adira stood in her office, staring at the stars. Her aide asked, Should we chase them? She shook her head. No, let the galaxy talk. Let fear spread faster than missiles ever could. And the galaxy did talk. On every world, from the cold rings of Juno to the crowded cities of Turkan Prime, one phrase passed from mouth to mouth. The Terrans dropped the mask. And what we saw underneath was terrifying. The Galactic Council had never been this quiet. Representatives from over 400 alien species sat frozen in their high towers. News feeds played the same loop. Earth's black warships surrounding. The Zarn fleet. Terran orbital cannons firing with deadly accuracy. Zarn commanders surrendering without a fight. The planet once called weak had just turned the galaxy on its head. Inside the council chamber, a message from Earth echoed for the 3rd time. Earth requests no reward, no land, no rule. Just one. King respect. Counselor Thari of Velk, a logical species with no emotions, reviewed all the data on Earth's rise. How did we miss this? How did they hide such power? A whisper answered from behind. They were never hiding. We just weren't looking. It was Ambassador Layla Khan, Earth's silent representative. She stepped forward for the first time in years. All eyes turned to her. Layla spoke calmly. You all thought Earth was afraid. But Earth was simply waiting. Waiting for what? Asked Counselor Draska, her voice trembling. Layla's eyes met hers, for the galaxy to show its true face. And it did. Hundreds of years ago, Earth had tried peace. Humans offered medicine to dying planets. They opened trade, shared water technology, helped settle wars, but in return, They were robbed, mocked, and ignored. On the war-torn world of Belchus, Terran engineers helped rebuild cities only to be banned once their job was done. On Carnax 5, humans saved thousands. During a solar flare only, to have their aid ships stolen. In Council records, Earth was listed as a Class 3 peace species, not because it was peaceful, but because it chose not to fight. Until now. Deep beneath Antarctica, inside Project Horizon, Director Reese Carter stood before a large glass wall. Behind it, a giant screen showed ancient footage images of Earth's first contact with aliens, hundreds of years ago. He turned to a young officer. "Do you know why Earth never struck first?" The officer shook her head. Reese answered slowly. "Because we didn't want to become what they were. Earth wasn't born powerful. It was born broken after wars, pollution, and near extinction. Through suffering, humans grew sharper. They studied. They prepared. They built weapons not to conquer, but to protect. On Mars Base Theta, technicians reviewed intercepted Zarn transmissions. One line repeated over and over. Humans smile, but their weapons don't. Back in the Council, Layla Khan explained what made Earth truly dangerous. It's not our ships, or our tech. It's our patience. We watched for centuries. We mapped your weaknesses. We never forgot who hurt us. We only waited for the right time. And now? Asked a trembling voice. Now, she said, you understand. What you invited when you called us weak. In the Zarn Empire's inner halls, Kreltor faced his own leaders. Earth is not to be challenged again. Their silence was not surrender. It was strategy. But it was too late. His empire had lost its pride. Its fear had spread. Across the stars, whispers traveled faster than light. Earth is Deathworld born. They adapted to pain. They planned generations ahead. On a small desert moon, a group of mercenaries stared at a screen showing Earth's Black Fleet. One of them, a war veteran, whispered, "That planet raised wolves in sheep's clothing." In a dark Council archive, old data logs were reviewed by a machine historian. It found something strange: records deleted centuries ago. Hidden. Subject, Earth. Prediction: if threatened, humanity will survive at any cost. Final note: do not provoke. The last line had been ignored. And now the galaxy understood why. In her office, President Adira Singh received messages from dozens of alien worlds. We seek peace with Earth. Can we share knowledge? Can we join your trade routes? She smiled quietly. No. They remember our name. But Earth didn't celebrate. There were no fireworks, no music, no victory speeches, just quiet silence, because the truth was clear. Now, Earth never wanted to rule the galaxy. It only wanted to make sure no one ruled over it ever again. The galaxy was quiet now. No more threats, no more Council commands, no more Zarn demands. Just silence. And the slow, uneasy realization that Earth had changed everything. In the Galactic Council Hall, a vote was called. 12 empires, once proud and strong, now voted to include Earth in the high table. 3 refused, but none dared speak loudly. Even the ones who hated humans feared them more. Earth did not attend the vote. There were no Terran diplomats. No human requests. Only a simple message: we don't need a seat. We already have your attention. On a council world called Velktorin, protest signs filled the sky. Peace through unity, one said. But beneath it, another flashed. Or peace through fear. The galaxy had seen Earth's true side, and now they had a choice. Back on Earth, inside Project Horizon, Director Reese Carter stared at a screen, showing dozens of incoming messages from across the stars. One asked for an alliance. One begged for protection. One just said, "We didn't know. We're sorry." He turned to his assistant and whispered, "They understand now? Should we answer?" She asked. Reese looked toward the stars. Not yet. In orbit, TSS Obsidian drifted silently, watching council ships patrol near. Mars. Captain Rhea Morgan kept her crew at full readiness, not because Earth planned to strike, but because they knew someone eventually would. That's what humans had learned. Power invites fear. Fear invites conflict. And silence could be more powerful than war. On the homeworld of the Zarn Empire, High Commander Kreltor stood before his own court. "What is your report?" they asked. He looked down, then answered with broken pride. "We attacked Earth. We saw no fleet, no defense, no threat. And then they showed us what real power looks like." In a distant council prison, a captured spy one who once sneaked onto Earth, pretending to be a merchant, sat in a cold cell. He whispered to himself, over and over, "They knew. They always knew we were watching, and they never blinked." Meanwhile, President Adira Singh stood at the edge of Earth's space elevator, looking down at the blue planet. Her advisor handed her the latest galactic reports. Peace treaties requested, trade routes rerouted through Terran gates, rumors of council. Collapse. She didn't smile. Instead, she asked, "How long until they forget?" The advisor paused. 10 years, maybe 20. She nodded. "Then keep the fleet ready." In a classroom on the moon, children learned about Earth's first contact, the Council, and the Zarn attack. Boy raised his hand. "Why didn't we fight back earlier?" The teacher smiled gently. "Because we were still becoming who we needed to be." Another girl whispered, "Will they ever try again?" The teacher looked out the window at the stars. "If they do, they'll remember what silence can hide." The galaxy never saw Earth the same way again. The Terrans had become a myth, a story told to children. They were nice. Until they weren't. They smiled. Until they showed teeth. They were weak. Until you made them prove they weren't. And so Earth returned to its quiet ways. They rebuilt, traded, helped where they could. But the mask never returned it. Had fallen, and now everyone knew what waited behind. In every dark room of power, in every corner of the galaxy, leaders remembered the final image from the battle near ***, the end.